If you were to win the nomination and then win the presidency, and then you were trying to make a decision on whether or not to go to war, as a faithful Catholic, would you first follow the just war doctrine making that decision?
Great question.
Second, as president, would you follow the Constitution and allow Congress to make that final decision and vote on that and let the decision come from Congress?
Great question.
Yeah, the answer is that anytime that I've been faced with that issue of authorization, where the president's gone to Congress and asked for an authorization to go to war, I have in fact walked through the just war doctrine because I think it's a very good template to look at that makes you think about all the relevant issues when to do so. And I remember I'm pretty sure I wrote, if I didn't write an article, I certainly wrote text out of my office to people who wrote me about that decision and laid it out in the context, maybe not specifically saying just war doctrine, but laid out the steps that I walked through. And because I did have people say, well, you're a Catholic and, you know, the Pope is against this. I said, well, you know, the Pope isn't running the United States of America. And we have national security responsibilities that he doesn't. And, you know, my responsibility is to use my judgment and apply the principles that a country should go through in determining whether this, in fact, is an engagement that's in the security interest of our country, and that we can make a persuasive case to the rest of the world that is necessary for our security. And so I've done that in the past. With respect to authorizations for war, I believe that the president should not go out and engage in a military action. Now, it's one thing if you're, you know, a military strike or something, but I'm talking about an engagement of some sort of war. There's no question that I would go to the Congress and I would go to the American people. You don't commit the resources of our country, particularly the human resources of our country, our men and women in uniform, without getting broad consensus, trying to get a broad consensus. And that's an obligation of the president to provide that leadership, and I would do so in cases where where our country would be called on, or I believe the country should be called on to go to war. I am obviously hoping that does not occur during my time as president, but as you know, you can't predict what's going to happen in the world.